do construction project managers work with their clients? So I once heard a quote that said that superintendents see the future and project managers read the owner's mind. And I love this. And so we're going to talk about in this video, how can you really develop that relationship with your primary interface, the client. So what are the most important things to focus on? What mindset can you have? Oh, this is actually a big one. And perspective and paradigm can you have? And how can you stay away from pitfalls? So we're going to cover that right now. So I'm going to go through 10 key considerations, but I'm going to talk to you about the promises that I already gave you right throughout. How can you avoid the pitfalls and how can you change your paradigm? Let me tell you a story. And this is actually a good story and it's a good reflection on a client. And I won't tell you who it is, but you can probably guess. But I worked with a university in Tucson, fantastic, and probably one of the best at the time project managers from the construction group that I've ever worked with. She was absolutely fantastic. And let me say this in a complimentary way, was very, very picky. It was very particular. And I remember at the beginning of this, relationship being with the whole team and with the university being like, oh my gosh, they're picking on me. They care about the color of the screen on the fence. You know, they want the paperwork detailed like that. Like everything was just like so particular how they wanted it done. And I was getting into victim mode. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm being put upon. I'm being put upon. I'm being put upon. And that meant that behind closed doors, I was always complaining, well, they and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And finally, I think it was the director of construction for that group came and talked to me and sat me down. I was like, Jason, we need you to see things like we see them. I want you to take on our perspective. I want you to care about what we care about. I want you to realize our struggles. Meaning if something happens on this job and it ends up on the news, that we get a call from facilities, we get a call from public affairs and marketing, we get a call from the vice president, probably from the dean, you know, like we get in trouble. We need you to start caring. And I don't want to say automatic, but instantly I got it. And I was like, oh, I'm an extension of their team. I've got to change my paradigm. So instead of thinking of it like, hey, they're being annoying, they're pushing, I hate them, I'm in victim mode, which will create disconnection. Start thinking about, even if their request isn't logical, why are they saying this? What do they care about? And how can I support them and be a part of their team? So I'm very critical about owners that push and rush and panic people, that start projects too soon, that don't hold their design teams accountable, right? I'm critical in my mind about that. But if you ever get asked by an owner to do that, they may not know any better. So find out, what are they worried about? Oh, they're worried about us getting behind schedule. Okay, totally fine. All right, well, here's a win-win solution for you. So you don't have to automatically do whatever they say that's wrong, and you don't have to become a victim and get mad. Find the win-win. So that's how you can look at this and find the right perspective, because if you don't, you'll end up fighting. It will start to spiral into chaos and you will have a horrible experience. So let me go through some tips that will really help you out when you're developing the relationship with your client. Number one, clear communication. Now you might be like, hey, Jay Money, this is basic. No. We do not do enough clear communication. Text messages, phone calls, clear pictures in OAC meetings, updates through email, constantly over communicating, maybe even monthly or weekly newsletters about what's going on, notices in enough time of impacts, letting the client know or the project owner that you're working for know if there's ever a problem, real time. Clear and frequent communication is key. Number two, establish trust and build relationships. Trust will not magically happen. I remember on the job that I always talk about in Tucson, we had, and this was a credit to the company, I was working at DPR at the time, they did a orchestrated, and with me obviously, but it was their idea, I don't want to take credit for it, and I helped plan quite a bit of it, but a pre-flight kickoff meeting where we grabbed the owners and the architects and the other departments, and we literally built this team and this charter and what we cared about, and it was beautiful. Throughout that project, we would anchor back, and constantly check in on the goals that we had set so that we could build trust and maintain that relationship. You cannot go without these types of team building activities either at the beginning of the job, throughout, time to create connection, the micro actions that create trust, and the intentional time in OAC meetings where you create that connection. Number 3, this is super important. Understand the client's vision and requirements. What are their conditions of satisfaction? What are their goals for the project? And there's this concept that I love called the owner's top 10, right? Here's the design of the building, but what do they really care about? And if you ask, it's really interesting. They'll be like, oh, I know the stairs at the back of house aren't designed to be like showcase stairs, but we still want them to be nice because students will be going up and down. Or, hey, this lobby, this is our showcase lobby. We're looking for alignment, right? Or we have problems with waterproofing over structures that have backfill and planters and shrubbery over the top with irrigation systems. We really need to get this right. They're like, okay, these are the key things, or the owner's top 10 of things that they truly care about. And if that is known, repeated, and up on the wall, the client will be like, oh my gosh, I just love this contractor. Flexibility and adaptability. The owner is going to need different things. Hey, can we do this? Can we be nimble there? I remember when we were building that same job, our motto was we are nimble and adaptable. It's not just the outline that I'm giving you here today. It was like a real thing. And they constantly said, thank you for being so adaptable, so nimble, and have the ability to change responsible things when we ask. So that's absolutely key. So when something needs to be changed and it's legitimate, instead of being like, oh, and starting a fight, be like, okay, we can do this, let's go ahead and work together and lean in. Number 5, quality assurance and quality control. There's no better way to win over a client than to produce a quality product. So we have other videos that we can link you to in the description below that will talk about that, but let me just mention here as a bullet point, deliver a quality product. Number 6, budget and schedule management. I highly recommend that they're always up to date, that they are clearly visible in a format that the owner understands, and that before you show it to them, you focus on key points and highlight things that will be pertinent to them instead of just chucking over these large documents with lots of numbers and lots of activities. Make that a tool that they can use to feel assured of your progress and also to be able to solve problems together. Number 7, risk management. This is huge. Always prove to your client that you know their risks and the project risks and that it's top of mind, and show them what you're doing to work on them. Number 8, the client loves to be involved, and owners reps do as well. And so if they don't feel involved, if they feel like you're like keeping them out, they'll dig and push to get back in, and it will become contentious. And you'll end up doing a lot of things that are not value add, meaning wasting a lot of time. And so the key is, with decisions, with progress updates, with the overall production plan, with the budget, with the direction and steering of the job site, involve the client and the owner, or same thing, but with the decisions and the design team so that they can weigh in and buy in. It will build so much trust. Number 9, when there are conflicts, do it in a professional manner without very much or any contention at all. Make sure that it's healthy conflict and that you have a really nice plan, and that they see that you're bridge builders and that you find the win-win. And number 10, and this is huge, I can tell you that I have failed on this many times. I'm used to, in my career, build a job, go, build a job, go, build a job, go. In the latter part of my career, all of the jobs I was working on at that time required me to stay months after, especially as I was transitioning to the next job. And I remember tanking a couple of times the change order process and the assistance that we provided for the owner move-in, and the owner being like, hey, you built a landmark project here, but I'm not super happy with how fast you're pricing change orders and stuff. So I woke up, we created this beautiful process on Teams, we started getting it going and really taking care of the client. So if you want to build trust, it's not just the beginning of pre-construction or construction, it's also how do you leave them, train them, and help them move in. Know what's important, ultimately, is the key. It's like when you all watch these videos, you know What's important to Jason is the interaction and helping the algorithm to spread so that everybody gets these videos, right? So just like you know how to connect with me, we've got to know how to connect with our clients. So I'm going to leave you with a blog post summary of this topic. I love it so much in the description below. In addition to the videos for quality, the quality videos I promised, I hope you love the content, and I hope this helps you to develop that relationship with the owner. On we go.